Hey everybody, it's Joey with Valley TCG. I hope everyone's having a good day, a good week. So today what I wanted to do was something a little bit different than the opening videos. I wanted to talk about the market of One Piece today. So if y'all remember that I did a video about this, I want to say 2, 3 months ago where I talked about the cadence of reprints and the fact that we were going to see a lot of reprints coming. Um, so we knew that Bandai was working overtime to try to catch up to demand. And as a result, we've seen a lot of market fluctuation. So I want to talk about, some of the sets that have gone up and down and, maybe just some of the thoughts around the collectibility and the value of holding for the long term. So before I go into that, everybody, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, especially subscribing and commenting, I would love you guys so much for that. I really do appreciate everyone's support as well. Those of you who have done those things. So, anyways, let's just get into it, right? So OPO1, I think, is the most interesting one for me because I think we've seen a massive reprint in the white bottom booster boxes. So the reprint waves. As you can see, the prices have massively bifurcated between blue box and white box. So blue box, so for those of you guys who weren't in the hobby as of that point, blue boxes are the alpha and beta waves. I personally have a beta wave blue box bottom OPO1 myself. I opened one previously and have not been able to buy more. I was going to buy a couple when this listing started, I guess, bifurcating. But unfortunately, TCG Player locked my account, so I couldn't buy anymore. When it first bifurcated the listings, uh, this was around $400 a box. So now, as you guys can see, almost 1,000. I think it's probably going to stay there, right? I don't see any reason why One Piece would go and reprint the initial wave when we're getting consistent waves of the second one. And I do think that at $225 a booster box for OPO1, this is a really good price. Um, well, I guess with shipping, it's really 235, 234. If you can get one for under that, definitely go and buy as many as you can. I think OPO1 is going to be one of those amazing collectibles kind of down the line. I think One Piece really just as a genre of gameplay is going to remain for a long time. At least, throughout the lifetime of One Piece's comic and or manga and TV show. And I think we still have a few more years of that. So I really think these two boxes will have a lot of collectability, especially as they stop printing this. It's already been 2 years since the release of One Piece. It's kind of crazy to think that it's been so long, but I find it hard to believe that with this already couple of times of pretty significant reprint waves, that Bandai is going to just go back to it again. So I think this is still a great buy. I might pick up a couple more boxes for myself. Um, OPO2, you know, OPO2 starts losing a lot of its collectability. I really don't know why people would, buy this. Aside from just holding it for your sealed collection. So that means for playability sense, it's really starting to lose a lot of its flair. And some of the cards in here are no longer meta. Maybe the only cards that are, air quotes meta here are still Borsalino, and then maybe a Nami if green decks come back, and then this Edward Newgate. Outside of that, there's not much that you'd want to buy and hold here. So it really, I think $150 is a very reasonable price for a box right now. Maybe even a little bit lower would be reasonable. So that reprint wave, I think, did its job. So if we just kind of go in here and look at this, look at that, right? $400 a box, reprint hits, drops straight down to 150, 140 a box. And I think it should probably stay there for a little bit. There's some sell through. We're looking at maybe a little over a half a case uh, per day. But I don't know if it's going to be. Look, I mean, there's still a ton of inventory before even it gets to 200 a box. So I think, grab one if you want to keep one for your sealed collection. But I don't expect this to have, a skyrocketing price. There's not much reason for it. Um, and then we have OPO3, right? OPO3 is still very playable. A ton of cards in here. You just want to open and have in your deck, right? So if you're running a black deck right now, you want your Spandam alts, you want your Kaku alts, you want maybe Katakuri still for the yellow decks, and then the Khalifa alts, of course, as well. And then Nami's starting to see some play, as we'll see in a minute. I will go over some of the meta decks in 08 right now in Japan. So Nami's starting to see some play. I think a lot of people love her playstyle as I hate playing against Nami, as many of you guys probably have experienced. It's so frustrating to play against. And sometimes there's a little bit of that troll in all of us, so it might be actually pretty fun to play. So there's still a lot of reason for people. Oh, of course, Isho. So there's still a lot of reason for people to own or to open OPO 3. And I think that's what's floating the price. I really this $5 Kaku, of course. I really don't think there's a ton of, let's say, real collectibility for OPO3 in the long term, aside from seal collections. I think, around this $240 price, it's really expensive. I personally believe if a reprint wave hits in the way that Bandai has been operating recently, they should actually reprint this set. There was a lot of it at the beginning, and now it just seems like there's not enough. And as we've seen with Bandai, as soon as it hits that 200 mark, they're thinking reprints. Does it need a reprint? So I think this might get a reprint. I really do believe that that could be coming. So I probably wouldn't buy this right now if I was looking at the open market. OPO 4. OPO 4, again, not much playability in this set. Maybe aside from the Sabos, which are really nice to have in all black decks. And then maybe I think that's really about it, guys. It's the Sabos. I don't think there's very much else in here that has a ton of playability. So at 160 a box, I don't know if there's real incentive for One Piece or Bandai to reprint this. I probably wouldn't mind picking up a couple of boxes at 160. 175 is a little bit on the high end, but 160, it's reasonable. Um, so yeah, I think I'm okay with picking up some boxes here. I just don't think that it's going to skyrocket for a box. But alternatively, I don't know if Bandai is going to reprint this. If they do, I think it's actually probably a mistake. They could be reprinting, or they could be reallocating their resources elsewhere. And elsewhere being OPO 5, right? So they have been reprinting a ton of OPO 5. It's coming, guys. If The reprint wave is coming. Guys, don't overthink this. If you can find boxes for MSRP or even around $120 a box, buy it. 130, 120 a box. I think this is a screaming deal in the long term for OP05. OP05 is the evolving skies of the set. There's so many high-end chases, whether it's the manga Luffy, whether it's a Sig Luffy, whether it's even these two mangas, right? When you have, okay, think about it this way. So let's look at Paramount War. $800 for an ace, right? So $800 for an ace, if we're just looking at it from a pure rarity standpoint, it's the same amount of rarity as all three of these guys put together. But now you have three of these guys. And you have this other SIG item. So yeah, maybe some of these guys like Nami or Uta, like these former chase cards are no longer as attractive. Probably don't care about that as much anymore. But the big old but on this one, big old but on Luffy is that guys, this is this is such an amazing chase card you have on the top end. Plus it's hyper rare. So you want to be able to, so there's going to be people, at 120 ripping boxes, right? So really, theoretically, you want 3 times as much of the supply for OPO5 versus an OPO2 to justify like the same price for these manga arts, right? Um, I hope that makes sense, right? So I really think that it's very attractive to pick up as many boxes of OPO 5 as possible. In the long term, people are going to want to open this. And even in the near term, Rebecca at 30, Lucci at 32, both very, very playable. Kid, maybe also a little bit playable as well. So, guys, like, do not overthink this. Just go in for it. OPO6, we are already seeing a reprint. Look at that price, guys. Under $100. So that's under MSRP for OPO6. $95 a box shipped. That's pretty dang cheap, right? That's within very good reason to want to buy this box. Yeah, I'd probably be buying at this price just for a chase for that manga Zoro. 100 and or sorry, $1,200, a little bit under that for this. Not a bad deal. Um, if you guys are looking for sealed, this is probably getting close to the bottom. This is the final wave on OPO6. Probably not going to reprint this in the near future, or maybe even ever again, because at this price, there's really no reason to reprint this. So I think this is a good price to start picking up. OPO6, I might do another case myself. I'm just putting that out there. And then EB collection, I think 120 is a very fair price for EB right now. I think they're not going to reprint EB at really any time soon. So this is a really good price. And then lastly, we have OPO7. OPO7, yeah, I think 120 is actually pretty expensive. And the reason for that is I think OPO7 is just not a very exciting set. I know people are saying, oh, manga Boa Hancock is amazing. I don't know, this card's very average. It looks average at best. It doesn't really accentuate her, assets, if you will. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Um, And as a result, I don't know if this is a hugely attractive card for people. And there's going to be a reprint wave. We know they're going to reprint OP07 in the way that OP06's last reprint hit, everything collapsed. I would not be buying at 125. I would wait until this goes below MSRP and start purchasing this because really, from a playability standpoint, there's a number of cards that you want to have for playability. But ultimately, it doesn't look like a deck or a set that you want to keep for the super long term either. So I'm on the fence. I think this is going to go 30 $40 below current TCG player price. And then lastly, guys, I just want to kind of go over some of the decks that I think are dominating Japanese meta. As you guys can see here, you have the red purple law, you have Marco. So red is really starting to take over. You guys see a theme here. Um, Here's a couple of Zoros. So red starting to do its job, right? So red rotating back. It's no longer as black dominant. Obviously, we have some Luchis here that are still winning, but as of recent weeks, it looks like Lucci is starting to fall off a little bit. Although, look, there is a flagship win here from a Lucci, so maybe not fully falling off, but ultimately maybe there is some type of rotation, and that's good. That's great for the meta. And then from a red purple law perspective, if you just think about cards that you want to keep for the long term, maybe Reiju, maybe Sanji, and maybe Kid. So and then when we're talking about this, I mean, I don't know if there's gonna be. I mean, again, red decks. Maybe you want to pick up a couple of new gates here. Uh, Looks like Newgate deck is running four of them. So maybe that's something that you want to keep in the back pocket for those of y'all who like to rotate back to red. Silver's Rayleigh looks like it's starting to enable the red decks, and then you have this new ace here, and then you have obviously this card which is not really coming up from OPO4. Oh, actually, so that's not even a new card. So really, so red is starting to rotate back. Obviously, you have your yellow still doing okay. So here's the black yellow Luffy, and then the purple Luffy won a couple of events as well. So again, keep your eye out on Sanji's on the kids. So something maybe again you want to keep in your back pocket. But other than that, it doesn't seem like to me the meta is going to be as dominant. Blue's coming back a little bit, so that's really cool. Jinbei, 4 SRs, you might want to keep four of those around. And then Nami again doing relatively well, not dominating, but able to win at least. So nothing really in here that you want to buy and just hold and hope the price goes up, honestly. So that's a good thing, guys. That means prices for One Piece should stay relatively reasonable. And then at the same time, we're going to see a lot of different decks that are going to do well. I know there's supposed to be a ban list coming out soon, which I find interesting because, looking at this, like, there's really not much in, air quotes bans that you should actually do here, right? Like, this is a really healthy meta. I don't know what they're gonna ban. They might do something to black. They might do something to law. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, but it probably is. I think it might be a mistake. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys are all having a good week. Um, Hope you guys have a good weekend because I will be probably posting this on a Friday. Um, I think One Piece is in a really good spot right now. I'm super excited that all these prices are starting to really become reasonable. That means new players can step into the hobby. Um, they don't have to sell their collection, you know, to, let's say, or sell their collection and other hobbies to just buy a single deck in One Piece. I think this is a good time to be a One Piece player. I do hope they start a online platform for this game though, a digital format, just like Dragon Ball. I think that'd be really fun. Anyways, thanks guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hope everyone's having a good day. I'll talk to y'all next time.